soul similarly, except new material body, given up old and useless ones.
Yeah, so the body's just like a garment. It's just like a dress over the soul. But the main thing is the life force, the most important thing. I mean, the body is important, but it's not as important as the soul, the life force. It's not as important. Like, which is more important, would you say? Even say you've got, we'll give Bob, what's your most favorite kind of car, Bob?
Car. Let's
BMW, Mercedes.
Yeah, I'll settle for a Mercedes.
Okay, we'll give Bob a Mercedes. And what's yours?
No, don't give it a Bob Mercedes. He won't come to the class again then. Oh, well,
what, Lamborghini, BMW, what is it, Gulshan?
Any, just a car. From me, it's a 4-wheel. That's it.
Oh, you're too transcendental. You're being too transcendental now. You have to behave
I used to have a sports car, and then I used to come to the Bhakti.
You used to have a flash car. What was that flash car you used to have?
It was Nissan 350Z convertible.
There you go, convertible. Okay, you want a convertible.
And I read the book, Monk Who Sold His Ferrari.
The monk,
the book there. So I sold my car. Gail was saying that, you're a monk and coming to the sports car. Then I sold it. I said, no, that doesn't suit that. I have to be just a 4-wheel car. It has to be special, flashy. So
okay, so you got your Merc and your Ferrari. So, but which is more important? The Merc is important, or the driver is important? The Ferrari is important.
The driver important, as long as get me there where I want to go.
The driver.
The driver is the most important thing. I mean, the car is important. It gets you from A to B, but not as important as the driver. And why that is because without the driver, the car is how valuable? No value, zero. Without a driver, the car is valuable when the driver is in it. But if there's no driver in it, the car has no value whatsoever. However, the driver can exist without the car. You got it?
Yeah.
So the driver can exist independently from the car, but the car cannot be independent from the driver. So the soul is the most important thing, the life force. And of course, that life force is using the car and the money and the house and the clothes and everything like that. So it's useful, can be used, but we're not dependent on that. We're not dependent on that. That's not the most important thing. This is just temporary things. But the soul is eternal and conscious. It's a living force. Living force means conscious. Means, what does that mean? It's called Jnana Shakti. Jnana means knowledge and Shakti means energy. So living force means you have the energy of knowledge. You're conscious. That's what it means. Conscious means you have knowledge of this is very pleasurable, or knowledge that this is very suffering. You're aware. There's an awareness, a consciousness, a knowledge of pleasure, of pain, like that. Like we're talking about tapasya. Tapasya is pain. So you're aware of that. You're conscious that this is painful. Getting up early in the morning, taking a cold bath and like that. But you're prepared to do that because it's helping you to get out of the material world, to go back to Godhead. So, so the living force has this knowledge, has consciousness. Whereas matter doesn't have consciousness. There's no knowledge. If I whack the table with my hand, the table doesn't say, "Ow, stop it, you're hurting me." But my hand does, because I whacked the table too hard. I hurt my hand. Oh God, So we have consciousness of pleasure, of pain, so forth. We have knowledge, but matter doesn't have that. So the soul is higher than the matter, because we have consciousness. So, but that life force, that is Krishna's energy. So any living thing, we seeing any living thing, including ourselves, well, then we can remember Krishna. That Krishna is within this body. That's why it's alive. You know, I love my wife, I love my kids, I love my parents. And why do we love them so much? Because they have a life for us. You know, because what do you do with your wife and your parents and your kids if they die? Do you still love them?
Don't keep it. If you love
you
your
either
father,
bury them in a big rush, or you burn them in a hurry, or whatever like that. So, but what we're actually attracted to is the life force.
do we
what
love
we actually love,
or do we love the soul? If we love the father, and if
you love the soul, but
we love the soul.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you love your father and your mother and your wife, and that. Actually, what you really love is the soul. You're attracted to that life force, but that soul also is an energy of Krishna. So you're actually loving Krishna. So anyone that loves his wife, his husband, his parents, the kids, his dog, or whatever, indirectly loves Krishna. Indirectly, because that energy that you love is Krishna's energy. So you're actually loving Krishna, but you've forgotten about Krishna. You know, you've forgotten about Krishna, but you love Krishna's energy. But however, without Krishna, that energy isn't there. If you minus Krishna, you don't have a wife, you don't have a husband, you don't have kids, you don't have parents, you don't have a dog, you don't have a house, you don't have a body. There's nothing.
Yourself.
If you deduct or minus Krishna from our equation, there is nothing there. You know, so actually you're loving Krishna. So, but it's indirect. It's indirect. You know, we're in Maya, we've forgotten Krishna, but we enjoy and we love all of Krishna's energies. And even Prabhupada said once that if the wino means, you know, the person that's addicted to drinking the wine, if the wino thinks that the taste of this wine, this nice taste of wine, is Krishna, then that person eventually will become Krishna conscious. That person eventually will become Krishna conscious. We're not recommending, of course, devotees to drink wine and try to realize Krishna in that way. But for someone that's on that level, they're addicted to drinking wine. If they can just think that the taste of this wine is Krishna, then they'll actually make a step forward. And eventually they'll become Krishna conscious, and probably they'll give up drinking wine at that point. But you know, that's a step forward. If they can just connect that dots, that the taste of this liquid in the wine, that taste is actually, that's Krishna's energy. Because the previous verse, right, Rasa Homapsu Kunte, I'm the taste of water. Prabhupada actually, he gives a class on this verse once, and he said that this this apsu, this water, is not just meaning water, it actually means liquid. So there's many liquids, right? There's wine is also a liquid, beer is a liquid. You know, it's not only water, it's only liquid. So Krishna's saying he's the taste in liquids. So if we can just connect that nice taste that we enjoy in the Coke or whatever it is, that taste is God. That's God's energy. Then that will help us purify us. That will purify us from whatever our situation is. Okay, let's get into the purport now. Now we've discussed the verse. Okay, Gulshan, do you want to start it off? It's only a short purport.
Punya means that which is not decomposed. Punya is the original. Everything in material world has a certain flavor or fragrances, as the flavor and the fragrance in a flower or in the earth, in the water, in air, in fire, etc. The uncontaminated flavor, the original flavor, which premates everything, is Krishna. Similarly, everything has a particular original taste, and this taste can be changed by mixture of chemical. So everything original has some smell, some fragrance, and some taste. Vibhavasu means fire. Without fire, we cannot run factories, we cannot cook, etc. And the fire is Krishna. The heat is in the fire is Krishna. According to Vedic medicines, indigestion is due to a low temperature in belly. So even for digestion, fire is needed. In Krishna consciousness, we become aware that earth, water, fire, air, and every active principle, all chemicals and all material elements are due to Krishna. The duration of man's life is also due to Krishna. Therefore, by the grace of Krishna, man can prolong his life or diminish it. So Krishna consciousness is active in every sphere.
So the idea is, by having this knowledge, we can realize there's nothing other than Krishna. There's nothing other than Krishna. Krishna, of course, and Krishna's energies. So that's everything. You have Krishna, the blue boy playing the flute, and then all of his energies, which is everything else. There's different energies like that. And at that point, then naturally our love for Krishna will be there, isn't it?
Yeah.
When we realize that everything that we like, everything that we love, everything that we enjoy is Krishna. So why don't I like Krishna? Why don't I love Krishna? I should. I like having a stove to cook my food on, but without Krishna you don't have any heat source. Not only fire, but even gas or electricity, right? You cook on gas, you cook on electricity, you cook on coal, you cook on wood. But whatever the heat source, it's all coming from Krishna.
Even the fire in your belly.
Even I love eating, right? But without being able to digest the food, you can't eat. And that digestion, that is also Krishna. That heat in your stomach, that's digesting the food. And we call it Agni, that in the stomach, Agni is there. It means fire. It means fire, there's Agni. And if you have low Agni, then you get indigestion. And that's when you run into trouble and you have to fast and you can't eat because you have low Agni, like that. So we need Krishna. We need Krishna in our stomach. We need Krishna in our heart. We need Krishna in our brain.
Water,
we need Krishna in our arms. What's that?
Without water, we can't survive. Water?
We can't survive, So we should realize by hearing all this that we're completely 100% dependent on Krishna. We need Krishna. Like Prabhupada's saying here, that the duration of man's life is also due to Krishna. Therefore, by the grace of Krishna, man can prolong his life or diminish it. So if Krishna desires, you can live a long, long time and enjoy. And if Krishna desires, that's it, mate. You're out now. Right now, you're gone. There was one man, he was really evil demon, named Mr. Nair. He was called Mr.
Oh, yeah, in Bombay.
In Bombay, yeah. He was a severe pain in the backside for Prabhupada and ISKCON.
Yeah.
He sold them land to build a temple, but then he tried to take it back through different cheating means. And my guru's just written a book on it, on Jew who build a temple. And he was a big, strong, healthy, not very old at all, maybe mid-40s or something, very big. And he used to be the chief of police of Bombay, and he owned a major newspaper. He was like powerful, influential, everything. And he had no health problems or anything observable. But one day he was walking down the street and he just fell down dead on the spot, just fell down dead on the spot. And Prabhupada was in New Zealand at the time when the news came from Bombay that Mr. Nair was dead. Prabhupada said, Jai, Nrsingadev has killed him. Krishna in the form of Nrsingadev, Prabhupada was saying Krishna killed him. So Krishna can give us a long life or Krishna can shorten our life. So it's all in Krishna's hands. We're completely in Krishna's hands, completely helpless.
5 years ago, I diagnosed with a cancer. So I was thinking maybe a year to live. But Krishna says that, no, I'll decide when you die. I'll decide when you live. Okay. So he postponed.
Yeah, so I mean, if someone saves your life, how would you feel towards them?
Oh, great. Just a dandvat.
Yeah, would be, I'm surrendered to you. I love you. You know, you've saved my life. You're my savior. I'm so grateful. Yeah, like that. So that how we should feel towards Krishna's giving me life, you know, day after day in this body, you know, 50 years coming up soon. Then Krishna's given me this 50 years of life. Yep, 50 years this year. So Krishna's given, this is every moment, every minute, every hour, every day, every night. You know, thank you, Krishna. As all due to Krishna's mercy, Krishna's grace, as Prabhupada's saying here, Krishna's grace, by God's grace, Krishna's grace. It's by the grace of Krishna, man can prolong his life or diminish it. So Krishna, we should have Krishna consciousness in every part of our life. You know, have that awareness or appreciation of Krishna when we drink water or any liquid. You know, when you drink your mango lassi, you should think of Krishna. He's the taste of that liquid. Or when you're enjoying eating the food, thank you, Krishna, for helping me digest this food. Or when you meet any living creature, you know, oh, that's Krishna. Or, you know, see the sun, the moon, you know, anyone that has any abilities, that ability is coming from Krishna. We were talking about last week, Ramtek's amazing ability at playing harmonium and mridanga and singing. All these abilities, musical abilities, comes from Krishna. You know, someone's an artist, you know, that picture of the cow and the bhakti tree, so beautiful picture of the cow. That artistic ability, for Vayu, his name is Vayu, but that ability that Vayu has is Krishna. That's Krishna. So, you know, Bob has an amazing ability at helping people to be flexible and good health and everything. So that ability comes from Krishna. Gulshan, hospitality, very friendly, dealing with people, everything that comes from Krishna.
Your preaching thing also Krishna.
Yeah, that's right. My ability to waffle on, you know, comes from Krishna, like that. So whatever it is. So every part of our life, we want to connect it with Krishna and be very grateful and full of love.
Can't have a breathe without Krishna.
Can't have what?
Every breath.
Yeah, everything, every breath.
Yeah.
Even the lungs that we're using to breathe and the throat, and that's all Krishna's energy. The lungs, the throat, the mouth, all the organs, everything. The air that we're breathing is also Krishna. The mechanism which is allowing it to come in and out. I was just reading about that actually, that there's the prana, the life air, there's actually divided into 10 different pranas. It's so complicated. The body is amazing. Bob, you might be interested in this because you deal with exercise and breathing.
The life force, yeah.
Prana. Yeah, it's called prana. Prana means the life force, right?
Yeah.
The life air. So Chaitanya is the life force, but the life air is... What's that?
You were saying there's 10 areas.
There's 10 different ones. So I'll give you the names. I wrote them down. I found it very fascinating. The first of the 10 is called prana. I mean, overall, it's all prana, the life air. But the first one and most important one is called prana itself. And that particular air deals with breathing and respiration. So your whole process of breathing in and breathing out, that's prana, right? Respiration. Then there's apana. So prana, you know prana, P-R-A-N-A. And then there's apana, A-P-A-N-A, apana. So apana deals with excretion of waste, right? So for you to be able to go to the toilet past stool, there's an air that pushes that waste out. So the air that goes downwards, this is a downward air. So that downward air that pushes the waste products out of your backside, that's called apana. And if that's not working, then you're not going to live very long, you know, so you need that. Now, obviously, and if you without the prana breathing in and out, you're not going to live for more than a minute, you know, so these are very essential. And samana, S-A-M-A-N-A.
Wait on, S-A.
S-A-M-A-N-A, samana.
Right.
Samana deals with digestion. So there's an ear in your belly. There's an ear in your belly that helps in the digestion. So we just spoke about fire, but you know that you'll know, like if you want to make a fire go bigger, what do? You increase the airflow, right? Like in any wood fire, you have a mechanism to open and shut, to let more air in or less air in. If you let less air in, the fire goes down, and you let more air in, the fire goes up. So the air in your stomach is called samana, and that helps you along with the fire, which is also Krishna, you know, to digest the food. And then there's udana. Udana, so it's U-D-A-N-A, U-D-A-N-A, udana. So udana helps you to swallow the food. So there's an ear in your neck. There's an ear in your neck which helps to push the food down your neck. Otherwise, it'll get stuck in there. You know, so there's an ear that moves in your throat and your neck there to help you to swallow the food. And it also, that udana helps you to go to sleep. So there's an ear, when you lie in the bed, there's an ear in your body that helps you to relax and go calm and go off to sleep. Otherwise, you can't sleep. So without udana, you can't swallow food and you can't sleep. And it also, it's said here, udana also, when the death takes place, the udana helps your astral body, which is in your heart, the subtle astral body, and your heart to leave the body. That air helps to get the subtle astral body out of your physical body, helps it to go out to wherever it's going to next. So without udana, it's like stuck in there, you know, stuck in the body. So, and then in the fifth one of the five main ones is called Vyana. V for Victor, Y-A-N-A, Vyana, V-Y-A-N-A, Vyana. And that allows the blood to circulate. So the blood is circulating all through the body due to this Vyana ear, the Vyana. And then there's five sub-pranas, sub-pranas. The first one is Naga, N-A-G-A, N-A-G-A, Naga. So that is the ear that helps you to belch or burp. You know, when you go, then that's, I started coughing because I tried to burp. That hiccuping and belching, that's an ear that's going upwards. That's an upwards ear that's helping that gas or whatever to come out. That gas or whatever to come out. That's Naga. And Kurma.
When you feel your tummy, you burp. That body will say, I had enough. Stop eating.
Yeah. So that signal is from that ear, that Naga ear, to let you know you've had enough, no more. And then there's one called Kurma. K-U-R-M. M for Mary. A. M for Mary, A for apple, Kurma. Kurma, the name, which is the name of an incarnation of Krishna, the turtle incarnation. But Kurma, that ear, believe it or not, that you need an ear to open your eyes. That ear, couldn't you believe it? There's an ear that opens your eyes. Without that ear, you can't open your eyes. So that's amazing. There's an ear that opens your eyelids. That opens your eyelids. It's amazing. I never knew that. So that's Kurma's doing that. So thank you, Kurma, for opening my eyes. We say that, right? Om Jnana Tirmanasya means the spiritual master has opened our eyes. So, yeah, also Krishna is opening our eyes every day.
There's a couple more to come.
There's 3 more to come.
Right.
Kri Kara. So that's K for Krishna,
Yep.
R for red, I for ice cream, K for Krishna, A for apple, R for Rama, A for apple. So that's Kri Kara. Kri Kara.
Kara, right.
Yep. That creates hunger and thirst in us. Otherwise, you wouldn't feel hungry or thirsty. So, you know, that feeling, right, that you're hungry, that feeling or thirsty. I mean, I've been feeling that recently because it's summertime and it's hot outside, get really thirsty. So that sensation of hunger and thirst, that's brought about by this Krikara air. That's amazing. And then there's another one called Devadatta. D-E-V-A, Deva, you know that
Wait
word,
on,
Deva.
sorry. D.
D-E-V-A.
Sorry, D-E.
V-A, V for Victor, A for apple.
Right.
And then data. D for Donald, A for apple, T for tree, T for Tom, A for apple. So Devadatta is yawning. So that ear for yawning, that's another ear that would to be able to yawn. That Devadatta ear is involved in the yawning process, feeling very sleepy and relaxing and everything like that. And then the final one's Dhananjaya, which is also a name of Arjuna. Dhananjaya, it's mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, it's the name of Arjuna. But D for Donald, H for house, A for apple, N for Nityananda, A for apple, N for Nityananda, J for Jaya, A for apple, Y for yes, A for apple. So Dhananjaya that ear stays in the body after the soul leaves and is involved in decomposing the body, believe it or not. So but the body's decomposing is brought about by an ear that's incredible, that stays in the body, keeps working. It keeps working in a dead body after the soul leaves. It's amazing. It's so complicated. You know, after the body dies, that ear is helping the body to break down and turn back into earth and water and so forth. That's just amazing. The more you go into this knowledge, it's just mind-blowing. You realize, well, Krishna's a genius. Krishna set up all these complicated systems just so that everything that needs to happen is going to happen. Obviously, the body needs to be turned back into earth, but we take it for granted that it's just automatic. But nothing's automatic. There's intelligent design behind everything. There's intelligent design behind your eye, like opening and closing. We take it for granted. It's just automatic. It's not automatic. There's a whole complicated process behind your eye. Even you wouldn't believe it. You know, we glorify Darwin, right? Darwin for his theory of evolution. After he came up with his theory of evolution, which is a complete hogwash, by the way, he studied the human eye. He studied the human eye, how it works, and focusing in and out, and you know, you can with one eye, and you know, and you can see you can figure out distances. That's amazing, how the eye can work out how far away an object is and everything, and it can look at something really close like this, and something, you know, 100 miles away. You know, how does it do that? You know, and different light situations, if it's getting dark and what happens and everything, and he studied anyway the eye, how it works, and he just saw that there was so many components in it. There's so many parts to it, and what really blew his brain cells was that, because his original theory of evolution, which came just before he studied the eye, his basis of that was that it starts off with some very simple organism, and then due to chance, the mutations take place, and if those mutations or changes help it adapt better to the environment, then those ones are going to survive. And the ones that aren't very well adapted to the environment, they're going to fizzle out. So that was the whole foundation for that philosophy, that it starts off real basic, real simple, and then there's mutations that take place, changes, and the ones that are better adapted, they survive and like that. So if you take that theory with the eye, okay, it started off as some very primitive thing for seeing things, and it was basic as, and then that another part developed due to mutation, then another part. But what he saw with the eye was that every single component of the eye must have been there at the same time, because each separate part doesn't make any sense at all, doesn't have any function without the other parts. So if those parts are not there, that doesn't have any purpose whatsoever. But with the other ones there, it does. So what he saw is the eye must have been there's such a complicated eye must have been created all at the same time, which is so complex, so much intelligence behind it to create something so complex that it must have happened at the same time. It can't have started off as some real primitive thing for looking at stuff, and then it became a bit more complex and a bit more. He saw that it had to all have been put together at the same time. And that blew his brain. And then he doubted his theory of evolution, that actually there must be an intelligent God that's created everything. But do they tell us that at school? No, they just tell us this stupid theory of evolution, and they don't tell us that he actually lost faith in his own theory afterwards, and he came to realize that there must be God, because he looked at the eye, so like at this, if you look at these 10 ears that are functioning in the body, you realize there must be some intelligent person behind it. This is just far out. You mean to say even after the soul leaves the body, there's still an ear that remains functioning in there and helps the body to go back into the earth and the water and the fire and back into the elements? That's just too much. That's amazing. So, and eventually you become God conscious, just by studying these things. That's the point here. Go deeply into looking at water, into fire, into air, and you'll realize that this is just incredibly complicated. There must be an intelligent person behind it. And that's what Prabhupada wanted, a real scientist that really thinks very deeply, carefully reflecting on all these things. If you just superficially look out into the world, you don't figure anything out, but you got to think really deeply like that, like this. We're going into more detail, looking at the 10 different ears. And if you just think about that, it's like, wow, that's so complicated. I just thought there's air that comes in and out of my mouth, and that's all that we ever think about, right? You just breathe in, you breathe out. But no, not at all. You don't just breathe in and out. There's a different air in your stomach. There's a different one in your throat. There's a different one in your backside. There's a different one in your eye. And you go, wow, isn't it? You get what I'm saying?
Yep, I sure do.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's incredible. It's just mind-blowing how complex everything is. So there's definitely an intelligent person behind it, because the theory of evolution, the whole idea is that it's just real simple, real basic, like that. But that's, if you look at deeply into the universe, it's not like that at all. It's not like that. It's very complicated. Even look at how a tree comes out of a seed. In Australia, got a massive gum tree, right? Have you seen how big a gum tree seed is? You can't even hardly see it. If I don't have my glasses on, I can't even see it. It's not even a millimeter. And a bloody great 100-meter tall gum tree comes out of the seed the size. You mean to say that whole 100-meter gum tree is inside that seed? Not only the bloody 100-meter high gum tree is inside the seed, but every gum tree has like 1 million frigging seeds in it. That's all inside. That information's inside that seed, which you could put on the head of a pin. How the hell did all that information, and not only that, all the leaves on that tree, all the flowers on that tree with the fragrance, and they have every flower, like gum tree flowers actually have fragrance. If we could get up there high enough, we'd actually smell it, you know, so, and all that information's inside a seed, not even a millimeter. Even our bloody microchips don't have that much information in it. You know, and you're saying that happened by chance? Give us a break. You know, that's bloody intelligent. Some intelligent person's designed that. You know, so like that, you know, the problem is we don't think enough. So, oh, we're just breathing. And that's all we think about. No, it's like going deeper, 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 deeper. So that's what Krishna consciousness is. You're going deeper. Think very deeply. Who am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose? Why am I suffering? Is there a solution to my suffering? Where does everything come from? What's the source? What's the origin? What's my relationship with the source? Think deeply. And eventually what happens is you become Krishna conscious like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But Krishna consciousness is actually for the most intelligent people. It's actually for the most intelligent people. So you're very intelligent, you guys. You're very intelligent. But we should never think we're intelligent. Well, I say you're intelligent, but yeah, we don't want to become proud. But actually, there's a lot of thinking, you know, a lot of deep thinking required to become. You can't become Krishna conscious if you don't think. Otherwise, you just drink beer and watch the rugby, you know, and like that, you don't think, you know, and then you're not going to become Krishna conscious. But yeah, even like this, you know, and people like, you know, like Josh should be in ecstasy, you know, some lots of yoga in yoga, right? You're all into prana and everything, the pranayama and everything. Yeah. This is like, but this is what leads to, you know, becoming aware of God, that you realize it's so complicated, you know.
Yeah.
And even if you study deeply about how your digestion works, you'd become God conscious. Because you'd realize that God's involved, you know, it's just so, or how you're, like I said, like Darwin, you know, he became God conscious just by looking at the eye. That's it. He just deeply looked at the eye, how it works. And he realized at the end of it that there must be God. That's far out.
Yeah.
That's far out. And like I said, you know, Prabhupada said, just if a drunk just thinks the taste of the liquor is Krishna, then eventually he'll become God conscious. That's far out. It's far out. It's far out.
I'll see you next week.
Yes. Krishna willing.
Thank you so much.
Krishna. Okay, take care, everyone. All the best.
Okay.